So I went door to door, and then probably within a week, I started to see children after school, and they would come running up to my shop. I mean, the shop was kind of away from the road, and it was a large parking lot. It was in a shopping center, a strip shopping center. So the kids would run up to the shop, and so that was kind of interesting. So you asked me why it closed. There was Eatonville has its own infrastructure, and there was a shootout in it was near the summertime, and it was still light, and it was in a business down the couple doors down, and there were shots fired out into the parking lot, and fortunately there weren't any children in the parking lot at the time. That would have been very tragic, so that's why I closed. Yeah.
Do you have any ambitions in the future to possibly have another business of your own?
Well, I'm a businesswoman forever. And what happened after I closed, another popular group that would come to the shop, I had groups of students from Rollins College. Dr. Thaddeus Seymour would bring the students from Rollins as part of his tour of Eatonville and the whole Zora Neale Hurston legacy. So he would always stop by the shop. But I also had a lot of after-school groups that would come by the shop. And because I had such a wide interest in Orlando and in the arts, and so sometimes I would have someone come in the shop, and they might have a violin or a guitar or a saxophone or drums, and they'd start playing for the kids, or for the whoever was there. So that was kind of interesting. So when I closed, I had several after-school programs booked to come to the shop. And they said, well, gee, since we can't come here anymore, you're just going to have to come to us. And that was the time when there was year-round school in Orange County. So for another year or two, I was able to get booked very regularly with ice cream, just like the shop, and entertainment. So it was an arts enrichment program for after-school youth, mostly elementary youth in Central Florida. So that was very successful. And I hired a lot of entertainers that worked at Disney. A lot of them worked in the evenings at Disney or worked at the club. So working 2 o'clock in the afternoon was a great experience, for those that worked all night. And I stopped that right at September 11th. It had an impact on artists. I guess around that time, attendance sort of went down in a lot of the clubs, and I think even the theme parks. And so I didn't have that choice of professional entertainers. And then Orange County went back to the regular school year. So. Well, this is a calendar that I developed each month of activities that would happen in the shop and also in the community, and then also specials that I would offer. So this shows you a December 1994 calendar and a December 1995 calendar. And I would hand these out to the schools. And also, I was a partner in education with Hungerford Elementary School. Every child that was on the honor roll got a special discount. I think either a special discount or they got a small ice cream cup or cone for free because they achieved that, they earned that. So that was also my way of keeping the good kids and the good families around surrounding the shop. I did not sell any alcohol. I did not sell any cigarettes, and I did not sell any drug paraphernalia. What I did have at the shop a little later is I became a WIC location, because some young mothers came in and they said, you know what you're missing in here? And I said, well, what's that? I said, you should be a WIC location. And I'm like, what's that? He says, well, you know where we can get our infant formula or our cereal. I was like, oh, I heard about that. And I did some research, and I was able to become a WIC location, which was wonderful. And so I tried to make as much out of the square footage that I had as possible. I tried to develop as many concepts that were family friendly, and I succeeded. Yes, I was in the Wall Street Journal, and that was after I had closed the shop, but I was doing the after-school programs. And I kept getting a call from a gentleman that said he was from the Wall Street Journal, and I thought it was a joke. I thought it was one of my friends playing a joke, and he said, no, I really am from the Wall Street Journal, and I want to come down and interview you about your shop. I said, well, the shop's not open anymore. He said, what are you doing now? I said, well, I'm doing after-school programs. He says, well, I want to come and see one of the after-school programs, and I also want to walk in Eatonville and just see where you were and what the community's response was to you. I said, okay, we can do that. And it was really before there was a whole lot of internet access, but he had seen a couple of different articles about the shop in the Orlando Sentinel and had heard an interview in NPR with Dr. Benbrook Markle. And so that was how he found me. So here's a caricature of myself.
That's excellent.
And this
What do you have there?
this is an apron. The young men and young women that worked in my shop wore an apron like this. And this apron was created by a friend and supporter of mine who's now in her 90s, Dorothy Johnson. And so she provided the workers with this. As I said, this was a great family friend project. My husband was my partner in this, and his father provided the majority of the funding so that I could open up the shop. We thought we could get funding from some of the programs that were supposed to help communities like Eatonville, despite having an advanced degree and having a solid business plan, thanks to Diane and Los Adams, both Dr. Los Adams and his wife, Diane Adams, who's an actuarial. I couldn't get any financing. So we were a self-financed project. Ben & Jerry's at the time wasn't taking any new franchise applications, and the other ice cream franchises just were not interested in going into Eatonville.
How about the wonderful pictures behind you? Can you explain those?
Yes, it was a very quiet place where people could think, they could talk. I encouraged people to express themselves, either through writing, through art. And so we always had crayons and markers, and these are some pictures that some students who came with a school group created. And it was actually my son's idea to create a children's area. And the tables and chairs were set up, and I've got a picture here where you can actually see what the children's area was like. And I always had the artwork from the children, and also photos of famous African Americans. In addition, I had an area where I let everybody put any kind of literature reading material on the counter. So I had all kinds of publications. I always encouraged reading and an exchange of thought.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I want to sincerely thank you for sharing your wonderful establishment and the history behind it.